It's what the WWE Universe had been waiting years for. Icon versus Icon. Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. Summerslam, August 21st, 2005. The dream match was finally here. Then the match started, and the greatest overselling in the history of wrestling occurred for the next 21 minutes. There are two complete stories as to why this match played out the way it did. Muscleman Productions is bringing you both sides in great detail so you can decide for yourself which story you want to believe. Welcome to Under the Squared Circles, the two stories of Icon versus Icon. What both wrestlers and everyone in the wrestling industry agrees on is the backstory leading up to SummerSlam. The original plan for the Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels feud was to do 2 or 3 matches between them, with one being a steel cage match. When it was pitched to Shawn Michaels that he'd wrestle Hogan at SummerSlam 2005, he proposed the match just be a legend versus legend, I want to see who's better match. But Hogan had a different idea, who was probably concerned about getting a mixed fan reaction. He wanted Shawn to be full heel, then Hogan would go into SummerSlam as the cheered hero. According to Shawn Michaels on his Heartbreak and Triumph documentary, he stated, "I was told Terry would prefer if it was a classic heel versus babyface. We want you like you were in '98. You gotta be kidding me. That guy would eat him alive." So on Raw, Michaels recruited Hogan to be his tag team partner, only to eventually turn on him in the end. Michaels would then cut biting promos that bordered on shoots. While Michaels would get approval for these promos from McMahon, and even Hogan himself once they aired, Hogan would complain about their content. Michaels would insist that he asked for Hogan's approval before and after each promo, and would be told to his face that they were fine. However, Hogan would go to management and insist that Michaels had gone too far, all to insist on an ending that would benefit Hogan. Here is Shawn's take on the lead up to the match.
And I was, which is one of the reasons, again, there were a number of times throughout my career that I was thinking about whatever turning me heel or something. I'm like, I just don't think I'd be good at it anymore. This was a situation where I sort of had to do that, because at first the idea was to do it just, the idea was HBK is doing this because he just needs to know. I need to know if I'm better than Hulk Hogan. We started it that way, and then I was told that, you get to change. We want you to be more heel. Like, all right, so, I do that. And, it's like, like the Larry King skit. Wasn't my idea, Bruce Pritchard's idea. But I'm just saying that's one of those things that, from a creative standpoint, everybody felt like that was a good idea. You guys in your internet world, oh, he's taking stabs. It's creative. Every one of my promos, Stephanie helped me write them, Vince approved them. There was never a problem on our end, and the whole time. And I think I mentioned in my book. I asked, "Is he going to be okay with this?" Terry's business, all right. And we were going to do. I think it was going to be the best of 3. Okay, the last minute backed out. So that day, and I will admit this, I poked the bear all day. I was, I already knew what I was going to do. I was going to go out there and do business, but I was going to make him earn it, just to be a pain in the butt all day. And that was something I did just for my own enjoyment. And that isn't right, it isn't professional, but it is the truth.
Then the match occurred, and all I can say is that it was Hulk Hogan's most entertaining match of all time. This comedy was needed to make a Hogan match good. Michaels bounced around the match like a maniac from the opening bell to the end. The controversy came from the way Michaels was overselling all Hogan's moves. He made wrestling look fake by acting like each Hogan punch sent him into backflips and convulsions. The ending was the nail in the coffin though. Hogan gave Michaels his infamous big boot. Michaels responded by hitting the deck, getting up, and doing a front flip onto the mat. It is the craziest reaction to any finishing move I have ever seen. Hogan responded by working the crowd and taking 18 seconds before he landed his leg drop on Michaels for the win. This reaction by Hogan showed how ticked off he was with Michaels' antics. Shawn Michaels to this day swears he didn't oversell the match on purpose. He was just wrestling like it was 1998 again, like Vince McMahon asked him to do. But come on, if you watch the match, no one has ever sold moves like this, ever. Michaels objected to the idea that Hogan, who was older and part-time, should win. Hogan insisted that it was McMahon's call for him to win. Michaels has insisted that he and Hogan were supposed to wrestle 3 matches while trading wins, but says that Hogan backed out before the Summerslam match because Hogan refused to lose to Michaels in the future. On Raw the night after SummerSlam, Michaels cut a tongue-in-cheek promo and did this with a smirk on his face, mocking Hulk Hogan.
As it hurts me to have to admit this, last night, Hulk Hogan was the better man. But you had to be there to appreciate it. It was amazing. It was incredible. He was cat-like. He was agile. He was nimble. He had a catch-as-catch-can style that even yours truly, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, quite honestly, couldn't figure out. I mean, his ring prowess was in so many ways and on so many levels superior to mine that I simply could not compete. And when it was over, even I, the evil Shawn Michaels, found myself falling victim, like so many before me, to the vicious leg drop. 1, 2, 3.
Hogan has stated that Michaels' unprofessionalism on Raw is what made Hogan decide against any chances of the rematches.
Well, you know, if you really go behind the scenes, along the Shawn Michaels thing, I just sat back. I mean, this is Vince's show, Vince's thing, and when we went to the dressing room, Vince came in and said, okay, I want Hogan to go over. No big deal. Well, you know, I kind of watched what was going on in the dressing room, and those were Vince's wishes. If he'd have told me to take the super kick and do the 1, 2, 3, even though everybody says I've never done a job,
yeah.
If you go back and look at my career, I've pretty much lost more matches in the last 15 years than I've won, trying to get guys over, from Triple H to The Undertaker to The Rock to this guy, you name it. And I don't win too many matches, but it's business. I'm trying to help these guys. So, you know, when Vince wanted Shawn to do the job, we went out and, you know, had the match, and everybody said, oh, Shawn oversold, and he was making funny and this and that and the other. If Shawn was really doing that, you'd have to ask him, because I've seen him go to take the turnbuckle, he jumps on the bottom rope and does the triple window flip, which is, you know, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and he's done it several times, not just with me. But what really, the reason it didn't go any longer was because I shut it down. Because the next day on the interview, I was expecting, you know, to return the favor. And then, okay, now you beat me and I beat you, now let's find out. And then get the third one and then go to the cage and then and keep it going, because he was such a great worker. I thought we were going to have a great run. But it could be my fault, or maybe I was too, you know, had my feelings too much involved. But I thought the interview was going to be, you know what? I got to give it to Hogan. He was better than me on that one night, but it'll never happen again.
Sure.
You know what? I'm quicker. I'm faster than him. You know, he just had that moment. He had the crowd with him. He had the momentum, but it'll never happen again. I'm asking you, Hulk Hogan. You know, I thought that was going to be
Which
the
is
interview.
pretty much exactly what he did with Undertaker after his first Undertaker.
Yeah,
match.
and I thought that was going to be the business interview. But when he came out, he goes, ooh, he was too fast.
Yeah.
He was too young. And he had too much hair. And I went, I'm out. You know, I just told Vince, I said, bro, I said, your boy, you know, it's not business. And so I pulled the plug on that deal.
Yeah. When you're talking about, sorry, beg your pardon.
No, but that's where it ended up, and it wasn't a creative control thing. I said, I just don't want to. If it's going to be a clown show now from this point on, then I don't want to be. I thought this guy really wanted to dig and draw some money.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's both Michaels and Hogan's opinion on the greatest match of all time, Icon versus Icon, SummerSlam 2005. Post your comments below on who you believe, who the right story is. Was it Hogan, you know, mad at Michaels, or did Hogan not want to lose and that pissed Shawn off and he decided to run the match the way he wanted to? So thanks again, guys. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and post your comments below.